All right, following Friday's sports wagering action, we're 3-0 in our last three crowd pleaser teasers on BrockPage.com. And if you want to access today's crowd pleaser teaser pick, the link for that play is in the description section below. Now, if you're not signed up on that website, or if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm going to explain a little bit more about it in just a moment. But before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to the video. My name is Brock Page, and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. I also sell my personal bets on BrockPage.com, and I have packages on that website beginning at just $1.99. Now, the purpose of these YouTube videos on this channel is to provide free informational sports betting content. It's also designed to generate interest in signing up for a membership on my website. Now, you may be wondering what the difference is between what I do here on YouTube and what I do on my webpage. Well, what I do here on YouTube is I'll handicap the entire slate of games in any given sport, side, and total. And what I do on my website is, well, I actually share with you which one of these free YouTube picks on my channel that I'm actually betting on personally. And with that, let's go ahead and get into some free college basketball content. We're going to go ahead and start with Houston taking on Wichita State. And that's going to be a 1 o'clock Eastern tip-off on Sunday, February 20th, 2022. Houston's minus 7.5 on the road, totals 133. Now, the Cougs are amongst the best defensive teams in the country. And as a matter of fact, these guys lead the nation in defensive field goal percentage. Houston allows only 58 points a game, and they're limiting their competition to just 36% shooting from the field. Now, scoring-wise, Kyler Edwards averages over 13.5 points per contest, along with 5 boards and 2 assists. Meanwhile, Fabian White is making nearly 41% of his three-pointers and also scores a dozen points a game. Now, when it comes to offensive rebounding, the Cougars are in the top 30 in the nation in that particular category. They're taking on a Wichita State team who's just 3-6 against the spread in their last 9. And they're covering the point spread in only 35% of their home games. Now, when it comes to head-to-head meetings in this one, the Shockers lost 7 out of their last 10 games against Houston. When it comes to shooting the basketball, well, Wichita State's been horrible shooting from the field. They're currently making just 38% of their field goals on their home court. Now, total-wise, 9 out of Wichita's last 14 home games fell under the posted number. They also saw unders recently against the likes of SMU, Tulsa, and Tulane. Meanwhile, Houston, on the other side of things, they saw their last 2 straight fall under the line themselves. 60% to the under in their last 10 against Wichita State. So if you're into historical trends, certainly want to think about that one there. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward Houston, minus 7.5, and the under 133. Next contest, it is going to be Michigan versus Wisconsin, 1 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Wisconsin's minus 2.5 with the total at 138. Now, Wisconsin got the W in 7 out of their last 10 ball games, and they're winning 77% of their contests at home. Johnny Davis is averaging over 20.5 points per game, along with 8 rebounds and a couple assists. Meanwhile, Brad Davison is scoring 14 points a game himself, along with 4 boards and 2 assists. And when it comes to defensive play in this one, the Badgers allow only 65 points a game at the Kohl Center. They're taking on a Michigan team who failed to cover in 5 out of their last 8. And they also have a losing record on the road. Now, when it comes to defensive play in this one, the Wolverines are giving up 72 points per contest when they travel. When it comes to the total in this one, Michigan 64% to the over in their road games this year. They also went 7-3 to the over in their last 10 contests at any location. Meanwhile, Wisconsin, on the other side of things, they saw 6 out of their last 10 get over the posted total themselves. They're also 64% to the over for the entire season. I'm going to lean toward Wisconsin minus 2.5 and the over 138. Next matchup, it is going to be Providence versus Butler, 1 p.m. Eastern start time. Providence is minus 4 with the total at 128.5. Now, the Providence Friars went 8-1 straight up in their last 9 ball games, and they've only lost 1 contest on the road this year. Now, the Friars have played extremely tough on the defensive end of the court away from home. They're holding their opponents to just 39% shooting from the field in that category. They're also limiting their competition to just 27% shooting from 3 land. Now, they're taking on a Butler team who really doesn't score an awful lot of points themselves. The Bulldogs are averaging only 64 points a game at home. They're covering the point spread in only 30% of their home games this year. Now, when it comes to head-to-head meetings between these two clubs, the Bulldogs dropped 7 out of their last 10 games against Providence. When it comes to the injury report, David and Hodges are both still questionable to play for Butler. Now, total-wise, the Bulldogs saw unders recently with Creighton and Georgetown. Butler's also 62% to the under as the official home team. Meanwhile, Providence, on the other side of things, they saw 5 out of their last 7 away from home fall under the posted number. I'm going to lean toward Providence -4 and the under 128.5. Next ball game, it is going to be Wright State versus Detroit. And that's going to be a 1 o'clock Eastern start time. Wright State is -1 with the total at 148. But despite being the slight favorite in this one, Wright State's giving up a whole lot of points when traveling. The Raiders allow 76 points per contest on the road. They're also having a pretty tough time stopping the field goal in that category. They're taking on a Detroit team who's undefeated at home this year. They rank in the top 3 in shooting the 3 ball in front of their home fans. The Titans are draining over 44% of their 3-pointers on their home court. And they're also averaging over 82 points per contest in that same category. Antoine Davis is scoring over 23 points per contest, along with 3 rebounds and 4 assists. Meanwhile, Matt Johnson, he's draining 42% of his shots from beyond the arc. And in addition to all of that, Detroit is, they successfully covered the point spread in all of their home victories this year. Now, injury-wise, when it comes to that injury list, Madut Akech, he is questionable for Detroit, so be on the lookout for his status if you're looking to fire on this game. Now, total-wise, 4 out of Detroit's last 5 home games did get over the posted number. Detroit also saw overs recently against the likes of Youngstown State, Robert Morris, and Northern Kentucky. Meanwhile, Wright State on the other side of things, they saw 3 out of their last 4 get over the posted total themselves. The Raiders are also 62% to the over when they travel. I'm going to lean toward Detroit +1 and the over 148. And with that, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup for part 1. It is going to be Temple versus Cincinnati. That's going to be a 2 o'clock Eastern start time. The Cincinnati Bearcats are -6 with the total at 135. Now, Cincinnati's 12-4 straight up in the Fifth Third arena. And they're in the top 25 in the nation in defensive field goal percentage. The Bearcats are limiting their competition to just 39% shooting from the field this year. And they're also allowing only 63 points per contest on their home court. Now, scoring-wise, David DeJulius is averaging over 14.5 points per contest, along with 2 boards and 2.5 assists. Meanwhile, Jordan Davenport, he's scoring 13 points per contest himself, along with 5 rebounds. Now, when it comes to head-to-head meetings in this one, Cincy got the W in 9 out of their last 10 games against Temple. And speaking of the Owls, they're going to be a little bit banged up for Sunday's game. Forrester, Dunn, and Williams are all questionable for Temple. Now, the Owls have also struggled offensively on the road. They're scoring just 66 points a game when traveling, and they're limiting their competition to just 39% shooting from the field in that category. Now, total-wise, Temple's 75% to the under this year as the official road team. They also averaged just 62 points per contest in their last 10 meetings with Cincinnati. Meanwhile, the Bearcats on the other side, they saw unders recently against East Carolina and this very Temple team. And as a matter of fact, they're 60% to the under in their last 10 games against the Owls. I'm going to lean towards Cincinnati -6 and the under 135. With that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on BrockPage.com. If you guys do end up getting a membership here today on my website, just keep them. Sorry, I'm getting text messages from my brother, and it's making me laugh. Anyway, what am I saying here? We just ended the video. Sometimes I forget my routine, what I say. All right, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on BrockPage.com. Now, if you guys do end up getting a membership here today on my website, just keep in mind you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership here today on BrockPage.com, you're actually going to get access to that content all the way through the end of February. I always tell folks in every single video, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. And guys, if you want to get access to every single pick that I give out on that website, you're going to want to think about signing up for my board member tier package, where board members get access to every single pick that I give out on that website all the way through the end of February as well. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. With that said, guys, happy Saturday or Sunday to you, depending on when you're watching this. Best of luck to you, and I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at BrockPage.com.